And we are ready to begin. We have waited for you your entire lives, and we're so happy you're here. Now, we say that to you each time, but today you'll understand it, and you might even accept it. Because as we've said, we've given you everything. That's what we told our messenger this morning, and we had him prove it to you today because he had forgotten, just as all of you forget who you are. But that's why you're in the world now, is to remember who you are so that you could live this really wonderful life and create the world that you want to see, because that's what you're doing. That's why you're moving through this restructuring and why it's felt uncomfortable for many of you, but that's only because you are stuck. That's only because you're not willing to take the next step on your evolutionary journey, which is within each of you, to understand who you are and why you're on the earth at this time, because there is an energetic pattern that you accepted to be here, and if you were to live it, you would live this great life and understand why you have had the difficulties, why you've had the challenges, why you've had the fear, and why you've had the doubt, and why you couldn't believe in yourself. Because we said that would be the biggest difficulty that any of you would have. And our messenger was the best example because he didn't believe in this. We're saying this because our messenger never studied astrology or anything like that, but somehow he was able to receive the information that would tell you all what was happening in your lives and in your world now. We're saying this because we would love for more of you to let go of your limitations, because that is the reason that you can't change your lives, and why you're not changing your world is because you believe that you can't. We have shown you that you can, and we've demonstrated it through our messenger as we've taken him through all of these years of his life. He sat down with us for 36 years, and then we've shown you what could happen because he's healed, and he'll be on November 2nd, he'll be 75 years old, and all those things are gone, and you each have the ability to do that through the information that we would have given you. And if more of you would do that, your world would look quite different, because you'd stop hating yourselves and others, and you would heal. That is all that we wanted, and that's what we've given you. But we had to use his life to show it to you, and then we also had to convince him. But we told him that he was meant to bring in science, spirituality, and human potential, and he's done all of those. And he used the science that you've all developed with your artificial intelligence so he could interpret the information that we have given him so that he would understand his direct connection to all of you. And we had him look at his birthday in relation to tomorrow, because that's when you're having a full moon. And as we said, we give you things ahead of time because we know how the energies will be happening tomorrow, especially in the United States, and we want you to understand that you can change it all when you remember who you are. But we always give you this beforehand, and it's always accurate. And so those are the documents we had him create, so you can see we weren't playing. We gave you everything, and it was in order, and if you were to use it, you'd become happy. You wouldn't fear yourself. You wouldn't fear the others who are trying to control you, because that's how it feels to you now, is that these others are controlling you. And we've said we've given you the best control ever because it's in your consciousness. When you can develop your consciousness and understand your unique journey, why you're here, everything changes. And we've just proven it all to you because we had him sit down and look at all of this. He didn't remember that we had given him the message on this date. We had given it to all of you because you didn't listen and you didn't hear the video that we did there, because we said that you have now the ability to live this extraordinary life. You always have had that because it's always been within you. All you needed was a way to understand it. And it doesn't matter who you are, you see. This is why we have told him to start telling all of you this is a foolproof personal development plan, because it works for everyone. Because you're never done personally developing as long as you're alive. That development occurs in your consciousness, which is what we wanted you to understand, which is why we kept mentioning things like we brought in the likes of Tesla and Buddha and Jesus, because see, those things you couldn't believe either. When new information is introduced, humans have a difficult time accepting a new way of being, which is why you're seeing the difficulties in your world, because you have those beings who are wanting to hold on to everything as it was, and you can't get beyond the way that you could possibly create something different, and this has gone on for eons. This is why your world is in the state that it is. But we've given you all of that as well. And the other thing we did, we had our messenger sit last night, take some of your technology and find our earlier messages from 2022 and analyze them. Because he never remembers what we give him, as you don't, and you probably hadn't heard us. But then when he analyzed it, they saw that everything that is occurring in your world now, we did say to you in 2022. There's an organization. We want you to understand when we talk about the quantum field, that's how we've operated. That's how we've given you these things. That's why we've been using this 17-year cycle, because you have cycles that you move through in your lives, but also in your world and in your civilizations. We analyzed it all to give you the information so that you could move to the higher state of your understanding in your life and then that of your world, because they all work together, as we've always said. But now you have the proof. And tomorrow is the full moon, and we told our messenger, now you have permission to own yourself, which is what we wanted for all of you. But his is directly connected to tomorrow. We wanted you to see this. And so we had him do a chart to show how his birth and everything we have given him up until this time was leading to this day. And now you will try to figure out with your logical minds how that could have happened, and that's where you get stuck. None of you can figure out what could come next because you haven't done it yet. And every limitation that you placed on yourself is because you're trying to hold on to an old idea that you had instead of accepting the new ideas and something that could be done differently, and we have given you that way. And as we say, we have given you everything. We just can't make you take it, but we do know we've done it, and now we know that we are complete, and our messenger can continue this work, and more of you will now start to live the lives you were meant to have, and you will start to see a very different world very soon. And we love you all so very much.